Well, good evening. This is the Newsbeat program. You realize this is the last opportunity we will have to say that?
Why do you make it so somber? I mean, we'll just say it's the last... Well,
It's an historic occasion.
Look at their clapping and everything. This is our final Newsbeat program, and tonight our crack critic Joe Pollack will be with us to wrap up the year of film and theater.
And we will look back at a couple of features that we had the pleasure of bringing you over the past few years. More on that later. But first of all, something fresh, new, and exciting.
Fresh and new and exciting on our last show. There are a lot of how-to books on the market, and most of them leave me cold. Things like how to sail around the world or how to crochet a bathtub. Limited stuff. Well, finally, someone's come out with some usable information in a how-to book, and it's a couple of St. Louisans who did it. Steve Ritz and Mike Newley have teamed up to put out a beauty of a how-to book, and it's just in time for the New Year's Eve party. No longer are you going to have to glump around as the wet blanket, because this book gives you lines that'll help you to meet girls. It's the subject of tonight's Auble at Large. It's entitled How to Meet Girls, and conveniently enough, it's not much bigger than your black book, so you can keep it in your pocket for periodic refresher courses. Mike Newley was a philosophy major in college. He found the job placement office had no openings for philosophers, so he decided to write this book, and I decided to field test it for him. We chatted a while at 7th and Olive downtown, then sprung into action. The book, by the way, is written on fabric softener, so if you strike out with the women, you can throw a couple of pages in the dryer. These have been tested by you, most of these lines in here?
Oh, yeah. Thoroughly researched. Friends of mine and I have been using these lines for years.
Now, they've worked, though.
Well, the main idea is to have fun with it, and if you meet a girl that likes them, then you're rolling then.
These are like icebreakers, though. I mean, to get a conversation started.
Right, you're on your own after you initiate conversation.
It don't matter who the girl is or anything. I mean, it's just the way you just approach her.
That's right.
You got to look festive. Now, you look good with the little ribbon.
New Year's Eve, I need a date.
I'll hold the champagne glass, and we'll give the book a workout here.
Okay.
All right, now, you see, here, hold this. We're at a party, and I say to you, so tell me a little about myself. What do you think? Would that get you?
Yes.
That would, really? I mean, you'd be impressed by that? How about this? Pardon me. I was wondering how you keep your gravy from lumping.
See, a lot of girls like guys.
It kind of leaves them speechless, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it depends on the girl.
Oh. Say, didn't we go to college together? Sure. That was the happiest 12 years of my life.
Sure it was.
Sure
12 years,
it
yeah.
was.
12 years, 12. Sure 12.
Yeah, see, it's usually 4 when...
Well, I know that, see.
Hey, haven't we met before? Sure, I remember now. Weren't we arrested for notarizing in public? What do you think? Huh?
I'm good.
Good.
But I wouldn't fall for it.
Hi, would you like to dance?
Certainly.
Well, go ahead. There's plenty of room.
Okay.
What did you think?
That's good.
Yeah, okay, make laugh. I wish you'd stop undressing me with your eyes. Give me a minute. Do you come here often or only in the mating season? Is it the delivery again?
Yeah,
Well, you try it. Give her that line. Do you care? Here's the book. Go ahead.
Hey, baby, you come here often or only in the mating season?
Oh, you got it.
See?
Wait a minute.
Look at that. It's all
Hello, baby. Do you come here? I don't think I've got it. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Don't throw my timing off like, hello. Did I ever tell you about the time I ate a stained glass window?
No.
I didn't.
Oh, you really delivered that one.
Was it wrong?
Oh,
You try it.
Hey, ever tell you about the time I ate a stained glass window?
No.
That was you got the same answer as I did, but the delivery didn't matter at all.
She's married.
I'm doing an experiment. I'm trying to find out how many girls out of 100 will kiss a total stranger. And you say...
Oh for 1.
You say, get lost. I know it. Hello.
Hi.
I'm with the American Elevator Company. Huh?
High rise.
I do the joke. All right. Now, you're standing at a party with your drink, right?
Yes.
And I walk up to you and I say, you all right? You comfortable?
I'm very...
Now, I walk up to you and we've never met.
Right.
And I say, hi.
I'm bored.
I need you. I told you I need you.
No. What do you say? I say, I told you. No.
Oh, good. No. I think I'll try crocheting bathtubs. And that's Auble at Large for tonight. We'll be back shortly.
I was in Peoria tonight. Well, I miss all my gals in Peoria.
Well, it's been Newsbeat's pleasure over the past 6 years, 8 months, a few weeks, and several hours to spotlight some of the excellent musical groups we have in St. Louis. And we've been especially pleased to have been associated with the National Ragtime Festival and one of its founding bands, the St. Louis Ragtimers, who this year marked their 20th anniversary.
We play this tune more than any other tune we do. What? SOS, SOS, Captain, we are...
Well, the song is Peoria, and Al Stricker, the banjo player, vocalist, and spokesman for the Ragtimers, can't guess, or maybe he doesn't even want to remember how many times the Ragtimers have performed Peoria, or the other classics like Kickin' My Dog Around, Robert E. Lee, St. Louis Blues, and Maple Leaf Rag. But you can bet the number is in the thousands. It was in 1961 that Stricker met pianist and ragtime archivist Trevor Tishner as they performed in a South Side bar called Palomino's. They were joined by tuba player Don Franz and cornetist Bill Mason and played their first engagement as the Ragtimers on Labor Day of 1961 at the Natchez Queen, one of the many nightclubs on Gaslight Square. In 1970, clarinetist Glenn Meyer joined the band, so it's unique that all the original members have stayed together all these years. Tishner makes music a full-time occupation. For the others, it's a part-time avocation. Stricker teaches remedial English, Franz works for Southwestern Bell, Mason's a driver for BMAC, and Meyer works for the Highway Department. Over the years, they've built up a national reputation, and the annual Ragtime Festival means a lot.
To us, it's like the Academy Awards to an actor. It's the kind of thing that keeps us alive, keeps us interested, keeps the public interested in ragtime and traditional jazz. And the thing has grown.
I understand that really the seed for the festival is with the Ragtimers.
That's correct.
Trevor and
Trevor, I would say the real seed is Trevor Tishner. It was his original idea. Now, Don and Frank, partners on the Goldenrod, they went along with it. And naturally, I was excited about it, too. But it really was not my original thought. Trevor Tishner gets the credit for that. And Don and Frank for encouraging it in the early days and sticking with it when it wasn't making money. The first 2 years, I believe they lost money. And Frank said, okay, we'll try it one more time. And in 1968, it broke even, as I recall, or 67. And then ever since then, it has made money and it has grown. Now, some people say, oh, gee, it's not like it was in the old days when there were very few people around. And I said, yes, that's true, but if it hadn't grown, it wouldn't be here at all.
That's true, and if we played any small part in the success of something like the National Ragtime Festival, I think that's what made Newsbeat really worthwhile.
Indeed it did. We have to break away for about a minute and a half, but we'll be back with another repeat story, huh?
Yes, sort of a little, yes, Lena Horne.
Mm-hmm. See ya.
When you are gone, will color all my dreams and like the dawn.
Well, movie stars, pop music stars, at one time or another on Newsbeat, we featured many of the big-name entertainers around. Sure, we've missed a couple, of course. Frank Sinatra's never been on, and neither has the legendary Lena Horne, for example. But last summer, Steve Kraushaar profiled a talented St. Louis woman who is singing in Lena Horne's smash Broadway review. And Steve's story on Claire Bethay typified one of the things that this show was all about, we think, and that was showcasing homegrown up-and-coming talent as well as the established superstars.
Ever plan to motor west? Do it my way. Take the highway, 'cause it's the best. Oh, yes, it is. And get your kicks on Route 66.
That's Claire Bethay singing for the fun of it earlier this week with the excellent local jazz band Marilia at a midtown club called For Adults Only.
Wait, all right. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, let's go to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty with cheese, Amarillo.
Claire Bethay, Claire Janice Jackson, is a Soldan High School graduate who grew up with the members of Marilia and has remained friends with the band while pursuing her own music career in New York City. But a little background before we catch up with Claire in the Big Apple. Ms. Bethay was seeking a chemistry degree at Forest Park Community College after her Soldan days, and it was one day in a chem lab that another student, a theater major, heard Claire singing and insisted that her musical chemistry was just what was needed in the Forest Park Theater department. Well, Claire reluctantly auditioned for a play, got a part, and soon after decided that show business had far more appeal than the pharmaceutical business. So after stints at Six Flags and a couple of Muni Opera productions, Claire took her talents to New York, first singing with a couple of nationally known disco groups, then performing with the Lionel Hampton Orchestra at President Reagan's inaugural ball, and now singing and dancing with Lena Horne in what is currently the hottest ticket on Broadway, the smash musical Lena Horne, The Lady in Her Music.
I think Lena sings better now than I've ever heard her sing. I've always thought of her as a very pretty woman, leaning against a pillar, singing a very pretty song and a very pretty little voice, but with not a lot of guts. And that is not the Lena Horne of today. Lena Horne is a very strong, soulful, fabulous singer and entertainer.
Yeah.
She's bright, she's witty, she's charming on stage, and she's very strong. A very strong character and a very pleasing voice.
Well, do you think that she'll be taking this show on the road, that you'll be able to play before St. Louis audiences at the American Theater maybe next summer, next season?
To tell you the truth, I was speaking to her manager the other day, a couple weeks ago, and he told me that 50-some-odd cities have already requested Lena to come to their city to do a show there.
Yeah.
And so far, they're planning on going to San Francisco, L.A., Chicago, and Boston.
Well, can't you put in a word for St. Louis?
I can try.
Let's hope it happens. Lena Horne, The Lady in Her Music, with such talented St. Louis-born backing, would be quite a draw here. For Newsbeat, I'm Steve Kraushaar.
My dream, and like the dawn, you look into my eyes, my love and see all the lovely things that you are to me.
You know, one of the things that Newsbeat did, we were the first program in prime time to provide a critic on the local theater and movie scene, Joe Pollack. Now, of course, there have been imitators, but we still have the original.
Gee, that's a wonderful introduction, Dick. I'm so happy to see you,
That's
too.
a Bill, old-timer.
Yeah.
Old.
Old, yeah.
Joe's just back from New York City. And what's going on in New York over the holidays?
Saw that Lena Horne show, as a matter of fact. Lena Horne, A Lady in Her Music, she is fantastic. The show's been extended now. It was first going to run just from May until October. Then she extended it until January. And now she's going to run until April.
Yeah, Steve brought up something in that interview about whether it might ever go on the road.
I doubt it. I really doubt it. She's going to play a year in New York. She's going to be gone the next 2 weeks. Anybody who's going to New York between now and April, go. Just do it.
What about Dreamgirls?
Dreamgirls is the new Michael Bennett show. Michael Bennett's the man who did Chorus Line, of course, a few years ago. And Dreamgirls is a fast-moving, there's a lot of Motown sound to it. It's a little bit like a story of the Supremes. And if you like that kind of music, or if you just like a show, they hit the stage at full speed and they never stop.
Indoor season here has been a little slow so far, but
yeah, it has been. It was a kind of a slow year. You know, the theater season here is theater here is still growing. The Loretta Hilton made a trip to Ireland, and that's a plus for everybody. Tomorrow night, the Loretta Hilton or the Repertory Theater of St. Louis will show Max Morath's One for the Road, which is a world premiere. The Muni Opera showed some progress last summer when they did A Chorus Line in its complete version, but they're still leaning a little too much on the old chestnuts, like the ones they've announced for 1982. Sound of Music, Fiddler on the Roof, old shows that we've seen before. Frank Pearson's involvement with the Muni is not yet complete or organized, and we'll have to see what's going on there. The American Theater so far has been slow this fall. It's supposed to pick up in the spring.
Yeah, now you mentioned Sound of Music. Westport's had a good
Westport
run.
has it now. It's had a very
What
good
about
run with
Westport? How do you think the future is for that?
Westport's, I think the spring is going to be a very big test for Westport. They had a big run with Sound of Music. They had a pretty good fall. They're supposed to bring Hal Holbrook and his Mark Twain show in February. They should be ready to make a move into really good theater. The big thing that's going to happen in St. Louis this year in 1982, I think, is the opening of the Fox. The remodeling is coming right along, and I think that it's going to be a big plus for the St. Louis theater scene.
How about Theater Project Company?
Theater Project Company needs the Lynn. They need it badly. They've been going from place to place this year, and they also still have quite a bit of self-indulgence, and I think they're going to have to get over that to have a really professional look at theater.
Speaking of Frank, did you hear about the Americans going to have a magic show?
Are they really going to have a magic show?
February.
Ah, well, we're looking forward to it.
Well, Joe's enthusiastic about theater, and you will be seeing, I'm sure, Mr. Pollack on Channel 5 in some function or other about theater in the future.
Right, thank you.
Okay, Joe.
And
Good to be with you.
we should break open an old bottle of wine.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you
Let's find
what.
one.
There are going to be a lot of champagne corks popping tonight, but that's one sound that you probably will not hear in the Missouri town of Herman. They are steeped in winemaking tradition there. As you know, tradition has been passed down from father to son. We've heard a lot about how proud they are about their winemaking skills in Herman. There are, of course, several commercial wineries there, but most of that is for sale elsewhere. The bulk of the residents of Herman know how to do it themselves, and they'd rather. We dropped in on the home of Reuben Haberly and his family, folks who work the soil, of course, but skilled practitioners in the art of homemade winemaking. Reuben learned it from his father, and his father was taught by his father before. Reuben's eager to show off his winemaking talents, utilizing ancient barrels that held whiskey back in the old days. Now they help to mellow wine in the finest Herman style. What is the secret? The barrels, do you think?
Ain't no secret.
Nothing to it. Nothing to it.
Nothing.
But the wood does have some effect.
Oh, I
doesn't
think
it?
so. I think so. The grapes, the sugar, temperature.
But you haven't got this temperature isn't controlled in here necessarily, is it? I know a lot of people that have wine cellars have very humidity controls on them and different things like
their
that.
wine is better, though.
Do you think it is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Because we can't control it. See, we just put her in there and let her turn out to be what she wants to be.
But what is this bag on here? Now, what is
Well,
that?
that's so when that is working yet, it's still fermenting, and then that builds up pressure, that bag will raise up like that and let the air out of there.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and if you see, this one is done, and he's tight. He can't let no air out.
Well, how do you know when it's done?
Well, whenever it gets real nice and clear, if you look against the light, that ain't no
sediment in it.
Sediment or no bubbles. Or
Now, what proof would this be, do you think?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Huh?
It don't have hardly any alcohol.
Hardly any. How much does the aging have to do with it?
Oh, I don't know. We usually start on it when we run out.
About every 3 days. Between the wine and the friendly hospitality, comparisons seem to come easily between the traditions here and the tradition that Newsbeat represented. They say wine improves with age, and of course we hope that happens as well with the memory of this program that we dearly love. Like the Haberleys, all of us will savor occasionally the memories this half hour has produced over the years, and we thank them for bidding so long to us with a toast to nearly 7 vintage years. We'll be back to wrap it up shortly. We have a guest who has arrived in the studio. Last August, we did a story on a young man named Gary Wallace. Gary, come on.
How you doing?
You might remember the story we did on... you want to sit here?
Whoa, those are nice.
Oh,
those
good.
are nice.
The story... Watch your
It's
tail.
appropriate to have roses here.
Gary was...
Would lilies be better?
The flower... might be, yes. The flower... little flower salesman who set up shop down on Laclede's Landing, and he started his own flower business. And he's doing quite well, I understand.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
He's doing real good. Tonight's going to be a real good night tonight.
Yeah,
too.
you're going to be out working tonight, huh?
Got 500 roses.
Well, we like to feel that we might have helped Gary get his start in the business in this town, and we hope you will have a successful tour down there on the riverfront.
You sort of look like Charlie McCarthy and Bergen there. You know,
This is our very last show. It's nice of you to show up.
Thanks for the rose.
You're one of our favorite people, pal.
Thanks a lot.
You really are.
You're one of my favorite.
We'd like to
Well,
think
thank
we've
you.
helped quite a few people over
Yeah.
the years, and we're very happy to do it and hope we can keep doing it because, of course, we're all moving on to new assignments. This program is coming to an end, but I think they'll see more than enough of all of us in the coming years.
And, well, we listened to a friend of Newsbeat over the years, a man named Mr. Russ David, who was kind enough to play our going out music for our final show. We'll listen to his tinkling piano, as we say, for the final time.
I think I hear it beginning to tinkle now.
So long, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Right.